The Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Bristol Flyers Podcast. My name's Joel Osborne. I am very pleased, as always, to be joined by the partner in crime, Sam Hardy.
Although no crimes committed by us yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe a crime on me for not doing much prep this week for the podcast.
We've literally been sat here for an hour now. Like,
there's not been an hour.
Joel's picked up our guests. We'll introduce them in a minute. And we've been sat here, flipping ages while he's been doing his prep. And we're not even going to use half it anyway because he's always over prep. So
it's always better to be over prepared than under prepared.
Is that true? I'm not sure.
Always. Yeah, always. Sam, last week we spoke about Flyers being top of the league.
Oh, yes.
This week we can talk about Flyers being BBL Cup semi-finalists.
Mate, what was it? We had a massive match on, was it Saturday or Friday?
It was Saturday.
Against, we'll come back to, we'll actually talk about that a bit more in a bit, won't we? But
yeah,
a big win.
Flyers won 95-76 in the quarter-final. It does mean we'll host London Lions in the semi-final. Who,
mate, already beaten them once, no biggie.
At the Wise campus, single game knockout. You know, if London Lions were looking at those last four teams, at which team they kind of want to avoid in the semi-final, I think Bristol Flyers would be top of that list.
Yeah, I mean, look at us, absolutely balling right now, which I'm loving. But we will come to back to that in a bit, won't we?
Yeah, we will. I was kind of hoping on social at the weekend as well to see one of your amazing trick shots again pre-game, but I had nothing online, mate.
Do you know what, mate? I like to keep people guessing. I like to keep people sort of like wanting more. So, no, the truth is I just turned up a bit too late and they were already warming up. So I didn't have time. But next week.
Don't worry, you will get your trick shots, and you got big shoes to fill now after that one from last time. So watch this space. Shall we get to? Oh, actually, before we get to this week's guest, I just want to give a massive shout out to everyone who has been tuning in at home. Whether you're a watcher on YouTube, whether you're a listener on the podcast feed, really appreciate your support for the Bristol Flyers podcast. I had some great feedback actually. I spoke to some people at the game in person on Saturday. Said they really enjoyed listening to the podcast, and next week we're going to have a chance to speak to a lot of them because of course we're going down to open training.
We are so excited about that, although a little bit of just quick apology if you listen rather than watch. I know occasionally we put stuff up on the screens that you can't see and we don't explain it well. We'll do our best
audio description for whenever we do put stuff up on the screens. If you are a listener to the podcast, we do appreciate you, and we do clip these bits up for social as well, so you can go find us at Bristol Flyers. If you do like the podcast and use some things you want us to talk about, if you've got any hot topics, you got any messages you want to send in to us, feel free to reach out anytime at Bristol Flyers. Maybe send us a voice memo we can play on the podcast. Maybe tell us a story about your first Flyers game, anything like that, or anything you want us to chat about in general. Just let us know at Bristol Flyers on socials.
Joel always needs more rant of the week topics, so if you've got any of them, send them in.
Yeah, do fire them through. I'm always keen to hear some of those. Shall we get on to introducing our guests for this week's episode? And this is our SGS Basketball Academy special. We are very pleased indeed to be joined by none other than Louie Tucker and Jayden Edwards. Fellas, how's it going?
Going good,
yeah,
man.
Very well.
I was going to say, we picked you guys up straight from Flyers training, didn't we? Because you guys have been, your schedules are incredibly busy right now, aren't they? Yeah. Talk us through sort of what a standard week looks like for you guys, because you play for, I mean, you're training with the BBL team, you're playing with the SGS Basketball Academy, you're playing with the men's second team. Do you get any time off?
No. The short answer is no. Yeah, like maybe a Sunday if we're lucky, but most weekends we're playing literally every day. So yeah, most of the time we're just tired.
Yeah,
every
just
day.
tired.
That's literally tired every day. Wake up tired, go sleep tired, everything tired. Nothing else to
eat, sleep, play, all of that. That's basically it, is it?
Literally have no time for nothing else. But I enjoy it though. It's good.
Well, we really appreciate you guys coming on the podcast this afternoon. This is the first time, Sam, we've had 4 guests in the studio. We've had this is our biggest capacity that we can have here in person. I don't think we could squeeze any more onto the end of this desk. So if you thought it was hot in here before, Sam, it's about to get absolutely boiling over the next sort of 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's all right. We can handle it. We can handle that heat, Joel. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Just talk us through, like, so you talk about like the amount of games you're playing. You guys must be training like twice a day or games every single day, right?
It's like at least two games a week.
Yeah.
At least.
2, 3. I think we've had some weeks with like 4 games,
including a BBL.
Training like twice, 3 times a day.
So have you guys ever had a period where you've like had maybe a Div 2 game in the afternoon, maybe away from home? You got like a bus back to SGS. There's been a BBL game on in the evening where you've had to like suit up and be on the bench, and like low key you're kind of like sat there thinking like, please don't put me in because I'm absolutely knackered right now.
Yeah, there's definitely
been a few times like that, but usually it's a home game. So then, like after the home game, we'll just go Subway. Use the free Subway cards, and then come back for the BBL game. And then we be tired on the bench trying to bring our energy, but just play the game before. So
that's it. Shout out Subway.
Shout out Subway,
who are one of our big partners at Bristol Flyers. They give us absolutely loads of Subway vouchers at the start of the season. Players, staff. Was it 3 foot long and a drink and a cookie?
Yeah.
You guys get down there?
Loads.
Yeah, literally every time I walk into the Filton Abbey Wood Subway, someone from the team or member of staff is always in there.
Talk me through your foot-long Subway order. I need to know it right now.
All right, so Italian the hearty cheese, Italian footlong, hearty and cheese, but they don't do chicken teriyaki no more. Yeah, it's actually quite annoying. So I get chicken tikka, lettuce, onions, sweet corn, sweet onion sauce. Shout out for Abuka to put me on.
Sweet onion sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
but
good.
with chipotle as well. But with the chipotle Southwest, and then cheese and toasted as well.
That's the crucial one.
Top tier, bro. I'm telling you.
You have to get cookies as well. The white chip cookies.
Macadamia chip ones.
The white.
Top
tier.
tier.
Ones.
Speaking of cookies, we actually we have to give a shout out to Amy and Olivia Atkinson because last week on the podcast they obviously they make cookies for you guys for the signing sessions after the game, every game. They're nice, aren't they?
We called them out, didn't we? Because they'd never given us one.
They never gave us one.
We were livid. We actually were really annoyed at them, weren't we, Joel?
And all of a sudden, I get a tap on the shoulder, sort of half an hour before tip-off on Saturday. Turn over, it's you, Sam, holding one of their cookies that they've given us. And I tried it. It's the perfect pre-game snack.
Like, unbelievably soft, but also got a little crunch on the outside as well. Amy was also like, do not let the players see that you've got them before the game. Do not, because otherwise I'll be asking for them, and we can't have that, all right? So, very clear. But yeah, thank you.
The secret is out now. Thank you very much for that, by the way. That was awesome. It was a very pleasant surprise we had before tip-off. Lads, tell us what it's like training and being part of the wider BBL team, because I know you guys haven't had a chance to actually, to get minutes in the BBL just yet, but you guys always have to be ready, don't you, for any situation?
It's difficult because obviously we have other teams to commit to, so when we might miss a couple of training sessions or we might not get as many reps as the other guys, and we have to remember all the plays to the same level. So it's like our brains need to be locked in at all times, and we have to just learn from watching sometimes. And then, like, if there was a situation where we got put into a game, it's like we would just be expected to know that, and that's like it's very difficult.
Yeah,
but,
difficult.
Are the playbooks quite similar in terms of the stuff you're running with SGS to like the stuff you're running with the BBL team? And
there's like one inbounds play, like one.
The BBL and EABL is completely different.
Yeah. And then is that the same with like the men's second team as well? Is that
EABL and second men's team is the same?
Okay.
That makes it a lot simpler.
Yeah. So you got to have like massive memories because you're just remembering like 2 different playbooks throughout the whole season. That must be crazy.
It's long.
Who do you hate coming up against in the BBL training? That you're like in a one-on-one situation. Who would you not want to be?
Probably VJ, Jelani, or any Malcolm and Leslie as well, because they score on me, like every time.
There's
Coach be like,
not
fight
much
in front.
You can do.
Yeah, fight in front, but if I fight in front, he's just gonna go over me.
There's no correct answer. Whatever you do you're gonna get bullied. Like, that's just as simple as that.
Got to deal with it.
Talking of Leslie, we had him on the podcast the other week, and he was talking to us about the Scat Gang on social. So you guys all tag each other on your on Instagram. Whenever someone put a highlight play out, you're sharing the story, you're tagging them, you're saying Scat Gang. Tell us more about the Scat Gang, because Leslie Smith was very brief on his description of the Scat Gang.
The thing is, I don't really know too much about a Scat team, I just know I'm in it, you know what I mean? I know the handshake, we got a little handshake.
Oh, let's see the handshake. What is it?
You know the handshake?
I don't know the handshake.
Come on.
Tell us through the steps.
Like this.
So it's a high five, it's a back high five.
Two of them, and then link with the pinky and link with this, and then just down like that.
So that's the Scat high. That is we'll clip that up actually and see if we can master the Scat Gang high five.
We even got Andres to do it one time.
Got Coach Kapula's doing it.
Doing the handshake as well.
I love that.
That is, although you're giving your secrets away, I'm not sure Leslie's going to be happy about that.
It's alright, man. It's alright. You'll be alright with it.
So who? Obviously, you talk about who is the original scat gang. So who is?
It's like, well, the original scat. It was Leslie.
Yeah,
He's the CEO, innit? That's what they call him.
the CEO of the scat gang.
CEO Scat.
And then he just recruited us.
Yeah.
I love that.
So do you have titles as well?
Nah.
No?
I'm just part of the scat.
I'm not a part of Scat then. I'm part of Charge It. That's my own little thing.
Charge it, yeah. So we actually had in our fan questions, we've actually got a question about that. We can get to it now if you want to.
Yeah, go for it.
Tell us a story about Charge It. I think it was Abuka who sent us a message. He was like, explain what you mean by Charge It.
It's like there's just a lot of Charge It things that happen in life. Like, I don't know. For example,
I know a good example.
What's
that? Say you lock your keys in your car, and you can't get back in your car. Like that's a charge it, bro. Like, you can't do nothing about it other than charge it.
It's when you have nothing else to do.
But
like, say if you get stuck in the post and Malcolm is like is backing you down, you just have to charge it. Because there's nothing else you can do.
So essentially, it's a situation that you have no control over whatsoever. It just happens. Charge
it. Also, is a universal term because you could also use it. Say if you're tired one like day or something like that. You can just charge it. Like, that's when you just
you can charge the session. You know, if you're feeling tired, you're like, I'm gonna charge that. Like,
charge it. Yeah. So that means also like you can't be bothered.
Yeah, it's like it's time to charge yourself back up. You need to like
need my battery charged up. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? You've just explained it, and I still don't understand it.
It can be used for anything. You can make it your own thing.
Well, if anyone does understand Charge It, I'm joking. They can send us a tweet at Bristol Flyers of your favourite Charge It moments.
We're going to spend the whole rest of the conversation now trying to fit Charge It into it. Okay, so you wait.
Fellas, this is our SGS Basketball Academy special. So we're finding out a lot more this week about the player pathway into the club. And you guys are good examples of that. We've seen players in the past come through the player pathway through the Flyers and up into SGS College. You know, players like Greg Streets, etc. And now you're seeing that again with players like Corey and Josh Rogers as well. For those that aren't really too familiar with the SGS Basketball Academy part of the Flyers player pathway, what is that? Because essentially it's like combining your academic studies at SGS College with playing and training with the EABL team for SGS College and also playing for Flyers under 18s National League on the weekend and things like that as well. Yeah,
so basically as an academy linked to the college, you play basketball alongside your studies. Normally people come here for 2 years, but obviously you can do a third year if you want to carry on with your basketball. But yeah, it just gives you an opportunity to study education as well as being playing at the highest level of junior basketball in the country.
Yeah, it's something like 16 hours or 18 hours a week. I think they put into your timetables. Fun fact for you, Sam. I don't think you know this actually. I used to be part of the SGS Basketball Academy back in the day. I used to. I'm talking way back in the day here.
He's not a man now.
What are we saying? Like maybe 10, 12 years ago now?
Do you know what? I did know this because we used to come up against you because I was at. You guys won't like this now because they're. Oh no!
Sam's pushing buttons all over the shop. He's knocking his soundboard left, right, and centre.
They were terrible back then. No, terrible now I think. But back then, I don't know if they're terrible now. They might be great now. Who knows? But I was in Richard Hewish College. Do you know it in Taunton? Now back in the day, we were actually better than SGS Basketball Academy. We
had really? I don't seem to remember this.
Players like Sean Clifford, who was went and played at Leeds for a while, and we had a bunch of other really good sort of players coming through, and we used to beat you guys sometimes. You beat us too. It was when Tyrone Treasure was here as well. He's a bit older than us, but 1 year. But yeah, that was so I came through that program,
and I came through SGS. It's crazy. And also the thing about with SGS is it helps you prepare for the next level, doesn't it? It helps players get scholarships whether they want to go abroad. There's also domestic opportunities available for them in the BBL. So I don't think there's actually too many programs in this country where you actually do see under 12s National League, 14s, 16s, 18s, a basketball academy, a men's second team and a men's first team. I don't think there's anywhere really that has that, right?
Bristol covers the whole spectrum from kids to all the way to the highest level you can get in the country.
Facts.
Which is a very good situation.
A lot of players when they're under 16s, they always think about I need to go to Charnwood because it's got a link with Leicester, or I need to go to Newcastle because it's got a link with the Newcastle Eagles. But really Bristol it's really emerging, isn't it, as a real option for players that are thinking about coming in.
Definitely in the past few years, definitely Bristol is like. If I was recommending a player, like definitely Bristol is a go-to option.
Yeah.
Do you find players like travel from other cities to come here for the program?
Yeah, we've got a few kids on our team that are from other cities. They have to catch a train to get to college and stuff like that. But yeah,
I feel like before they used to have accommodation, which obviously helped the team, like bringing in players from all over the country that would come in. Was Dwayne from Bristol?
No, Dwayne came from London, I remember, and then he came to SGS when he was studying for college, and sort of brought him in. But that's the thing, like, there's not many places that will actually give these players an opportunity in the BBL as well. You look at like when Dwayne was playing at SGS Basketball Academy, he was playing. It was his first year technically as a professional, and he was playing he's studying at SGS College. He was playing for it's our first year BBL 14-15. He was averaging like 10 points a game, and you actually get the opportunities to prove yourself in these academies. He's playing every Wednesday in like EABL, and then every Saturday night he's out there on the Wise campus floor playing in the BBL. It's amazing. It's really great to see.
No, that is good, because if you're in you're breaking through to the BBL squad like you guys are right now, but you can't just use that as your only opportunity. You still need these other teams to go and play and to get your minutes up and practice all these sorts of things. And actually, in that other team, you're playing. It's not just against kids. You're playing against big men as well, aren't you? That you're trying to take on, and that's so important for you at this level, isn't it? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we had Corey on the other week, and obviously we embarrassed Corey with a bunch of pictures on the screen of him playing for the junior program. I think we had some under 12s. We couldn't not have you guys on the podcast and not embarrass you guys with some photos as well. So let's charge it. Let's throw the pictures up. Here we go. Here's our first picture. Young Jayden. How old will you be in this photo, do you reckon, Jayden?
That's under 14s.
Under 14.
Like, 13, 14.
Yeah, that was that was a lot of talent on that team, right? I mean, there's like a lot of players like coming through that age group and stuff.
He was quite successful in that year when we was playing.
Yeah,
done quite well. Yeah.
I've got another picture here on the screen. I think another young image. We can see you there. I think, is that you on the far end there? Standing outside the minibus, ready to go on an away game.
That's crazy.
What kind of, how long ago are we talking in this photo?
I feel like this might be the first year of under 16s, so that would probably be my like second or third year in playing for Bristol. Yeah,
cool. Awesome.
Everyone's got their Flyers gear on. You've just got your Jordan.
Yeah, dripped up, man.
Charge it.
Stay stylish. Stay stylish at all times.
Well, I don't think we've not got you off lightly, Louie, because we've got some photos here as well. I think I've got 3 photos. Here's one of your young teams. There's Louie Tucker at the front.
Oh my days! Look at the haircut.
Talk us through. I mean, the hair actually does. If we go on to the next photo, the hair does have a life of its own. If we just skip through to the next one, there you are in the front there. You can see the hair slowly getting bigger.
That's a Charger haircut right there.
He's wearing his basketball helmet on that one.
If you listen to the podcast, it literally looks like it is someone's just like clipped on the haircut on top of your head like a Lego figure.
You should have been in it. You should have been in while we were just warming up for the podcast, because he was like trying to make sure his headphones are on properly, showing off the hair.
Gotta make sure the hair's straight, man.
There is one more photo here. I think this is the youngest, the furthest we do go back. Talk us through this photo here. You see a young Tux there, that top left corner.
I don't even remember taking this picture. That is crazy.
What age group would this have been?
That's under 12s.
Under 12 Flyers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see other people we rate. Is that
that's
Kobe?
my little brother.
Yeah, Kobe, Corey Hill, in there as well.
Where's
my
your
little brother's in this with the blue shoes next to Corey.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. I've never seen that picture before, you know.
That's outside of the subway as well. Yeah. That's the subway where everyone goes to get their sarnies. Still there.
Back when they did the teriyaki,
Big fact.
Obviously, so there's some embarrassing photos. I know one of your coaches from when you guys were really young was Christian Hill, and I think he was one of your first coaches. And we spoke to him actually, and when we said that you were coming on the podcast this week, he was super excited. He said he couldn't wait to listen to this episode. He actually sent us this message. Sam, should we take a listen?
Hi guys. Hope you're both well. Don't worry, Coach Hill here. I'm not going to embarrass either of you, unless you've seen the pictures that I sent to Joel. But anyway, let's not talk about that. I just wanted to say, as one of your first coaches, along with Rodney, Cormac, people like that, it's been a real pleasure to see you guys grow into the players and the people that you've become, from sort of, 10, 11, 12 years old up until now, big men. It's been an amazing journey for you both, and your games have really come on. Seeing you grow, the growth you've had throughout the years. That doesn't stop now, though, fellas. You got to keep growing. You got to keep improving. You know that. But like I said, it's been a real pleasure, and also the people you've become. You're always friendly. You're always polite. You really represent the junior program at Flyers really well. Great that you're on the podcast. Big time now, boys. Many stories that I could tell. But we won't go there, and I'm sure there's not enough time on this podcast to tell those stories. But yeah, it's been a pleasure spending time with you guys and watching you grow. All the best for the future, and I'll always be here if you need me. Take care, guys.
Well, I don't know about you. I'm absolute legend, Coach Hill. But I don't know about you, Sam. I want to listen to some of these stories that Christian Hill's got up his sleeve. Yeah. Maybe we'll get him on an episode in the future and he can dish the dirt on him.
He would be able to talk for days as well. He's one person. If he was on the podcast for an hour and a half of just waffle.
He's talking.
Do you know what? Christian is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Genuinely,
top G.
One of the best. Yeah. Although, have you ever played against him in like Weber or anything?
Yeah.
He's actually nasty on the court. I'm not even joking. He turns into someone different. Bad mouth, trash talk, fouling.
He can back his chat, innit?
Yeah.
He gets buckets,
Don't give him that. Do not give him that.
Christian gets buckets. Sam, let's get to our quick fire segment of the Bristol Flyers podcast.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers podcast.
All right, so every guest we get on, we get our guests to do 30 seconds of quick fire questions, as many questions about themselves as they possibly can in 30 seconds. We've got two guests this week, so we're going to do it twice. Sam, we'll do... who wants to go first, fellas?
I'll go first. Yeah, come on.
Sweet. Okay, right. Sam, shall we get ready for quick fire questions? Let's bring the lights down low here.
Yeah, that's cold still.
All right, we've got 30 seconds on the clock. You have to answer as many questions as you possibly can in 30 seconds. The score to beat is 10, which was scored by the Iceman, Mike Miller.
That's crazy.
Are you ready, Sam, with the clock?
Yep.
30 seconds, starting from now. MJ or LeBron?
LeBron.
What NBA player has most influenced your game?
Oh, Buddy Hield.
What actor would play you in a film about your life?
Oh my gosh.
Name an actor.
Tom Cruise.
How old were you when you started to play basketball?
9.
Do you believe Area 51 is real?
Yeah.
What's your favourite movie of all time?
What's the one with the crocodile? Adam Sandler. What's it? The golf one.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, that's it.
Producer Freddie there with the assist on that one.
Okay, we'll give you the answer to that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No, not that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, yeah, we can't. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
6.
Charge it.
My math.
Charge it.
Let's move on to Jayden. Jayden, it's your turn. You've got to beat a score of 10. We are going to crack on with this one here, Sam, when we start the clock. Are you ready?
Yep.
30 seconds on the clock, starting from now. What's your favourite song to listen to right now?
California Breeze.
Who's the one player on a team with the worst fashion sense?
Malcolm.
What are your favourite shoes to hoop in?
Kobe.
Who will win the FIFA World Cup?
Hopefully England.
Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
I never had a celebrity crush.
What country do you want to travel to most?
Nigeria.
What is your favourite food?
Chicken, anything chicken.
What was your favourite subject in school?
Maths.
Maths isn't my favourite subject because I'm not good at counting these answers up.
What was it? Count up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. So not quite a 10, but good job. I think you're like mid-table in the rankings. So
can't believe you never had a childish celebrity crush. Mine was Billie Piper, if you remember who that is.
Oh really?
Yeah, loved her. Honey to the Bee, all that, big time.
Love that. Love that. Producer Freddie agrees over there in the background as well. He's doing this with his hands. Definitely agrees. Sam, let's get on to this week's news around the BBL.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
All right, time to wrap up this week's news around the league, and we can't not start without talking about that game on Saturday night. I keep saying, I think it was Friday. It was Saturday, wasn't it?
Do you know what, mate? I don't want to say this in a negative way because it's not meant to come across negative, but it was almost like a little bit too easy on Saturday.
Yeah,
a bit not boring, but just like, this is just happening. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the lads were in control from start to finish, and pretty much, I mean, obviously William Lee wasn't playing for Manchester, who is a big part of them. He's like their best defensive player.
Fine.
We know that Manchester are always a very offensive team. Like Vince openly goes out and says they don't really like to play defense. They like to run the floor. They like to get up a lot of threes. So we kind of just played to that style, and our defensive intensity was pretty strong. They moved to that zone for a bit, didn't they, for a little while, and then
it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. It kind of threw us off a bit in the third, and then all of a sudden there were a couple of high-low plays. They go out the zone, and then it's free running, really.
Well, I just think it was weird because we were never really, apart from the very beginning, obviously, never really less than about 10 points. And so it kind of just like, if they did a little bit of a run, we also were staying with them. And then it was just a bit, I loved it, don't get me wrong, but it just felt all right, didn't it?
It's quite nice for Flyers fans to put their feet up for once. There's normally a nail biter at the Wise campus, but no, that was really good.
A third quarter normally gets us, but everyone was like, oh, we can have a bit of a chill third quarter as well.
There we go. Fellas, you guys were you guys at the game on, do you guys have a Div 2 game or anything before, or was it?
The game just went?
Yeah.
Nah, we was there.
Yeah,
we had a Div 2 game before that as well.
Yeah,
it was home,
so this is a double header for these guys. It's just like, play Div 2 game. How many hours do you usually get between the two games?
It's like
3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. That's enough time to go grab a Subway and come back.
So you play, shower, go, eat, and then back again, and then training, like, because you're warming up as well, aren't you? So yeah.
What do you guys think of the game against Manchester? It was a pretty solid performance, right?
Yeah, we controlled the whole game.
Yeah,
we killed them.
We never really had time in the game where you thought like this could be a loss. Like we always knew it was gonna be us. He's gonna get a dub.
Yeah. It was big games as well, wasn't it? From VJ and Malcolm. I think Malcolm had 18 points and 18 points, 12 rebounds. VJ 16, 7 and 6.
Top scorer Jelani as well. He's up 21 points.
Yeah, Jelani 21 points off the bench, and he's been like a real surprise package this year. I mean, like, no one really knew what to expect from Jelani coming in. Obviously, he's been playing in like Div 2 out in the States, and then coming back over, and he's really sort of proven to be Mr. Reliable right now off the bench for us.
It's that pull-up three that he does where he kind of feels like you're going to drive, and then you just can't stop it. It's quick, isn't it? Quick release.
He's cold.
Quick. Yeah.
He's cold.
He's part of the scat gang, right?
Yeah. He's him still. He's cold.
Other news. Those two performances from VJ and Malcolm, by the way, Team of the Week. So 2 Flyers players in BBL Team of the Week for the very first time this season. VJ in the Team of the Week for the second time in as many weeks. And also his third appearance in Team of the Week this season. It means that we are undefeated in the month of November.
That is just... How many? We did 4 games, didn't we?
Just the 4 games.
Just the 4 games, and we won them all. No biggie.
Yeah. Wins over Caledonia, London. I think it was Cheshire as well, Manchester. Really strong performance, strong month. So let's keep it rolling.
With that in mind, though, so we mentioned this at the beginning, but we beat Manchester in the quarters, which means the semis is a home fixture on...
It's the Monday, December 19th.
Yes, that's correct.
Tip-off will be at 7 p.m. for that one. If you're listening to this podcast on Wednesday, tickets are on priority sale right now. If you're listening to this podcast on Thursday, tickets are on general sale right now.
If you're listening to this podcast on Friday... No.
If you're listening to this podcast on Friday, they'll be sold out.
Yeah.
so make sure you go to bristolflyers.co.uk to get your tickets for that BBL Cup semi-final against the London Lions. Other news, we've launched our supporter travel survey. Nice, and this is the fun part of the podcast. No, seriously, we're launching a survey for fans. We want to find out how they're getting to and from the SGS College Arena. If you go to the website, bristolflyers.co.uk, and you fill out the survey for us, you get entered into a draw to win a £50 voucher for the Bristol Sports Store,
where you could buy yourself a nice jersey, maybe a full kit. Which reminds me, Joel, why aren't you still wearing your full kit?
So I've got an update for you here on this one. Word of the week last week, we failed. A couple of weeks back, we failed to say the word focaccia.
We didn't. We were fine.
I feel like we're a team here, Sam. So.
not for word of the week, we're not.
So I failed to say the word focaccia. Sam gave me the penalty of wearing a full kit. I'm still speaking to the shop, and we hope by next week's podcast for the open training session, I'll be in the kit. Maybe not at the open training, maybe just in here, but we are getting the kit sorted for it. So watch this space, and we will keep you posted. The survey, it basically gives us an indication of how fans are travelling to the arena to help us moving forward once we're down here at Ashton Gate, to figure out if we need to put on any more transport for fans to get to and from here. So it's very helpful. Survey closes at the end of the week. As you say, everyone who fills it out gets has a chance to win a £50 voucher. We're not giving them out for nothing.
And I know it sounds like, maybe boring admin, but actually genuinely really, really helpful if you could fill that in for us. So yeah.
Yes, please. More chat happening here. Open training next week is on Tuesday. As we say, we are taking the podcast down to the SGS College Arena. We're going to speak to volunteers. We're going to speak to fans. We're going to speak to players. Everything. And we're going to do little packages and then throw to them from here. We're going to do some podcast inception. I think we are. We're going to be here and we're going to be at the training session at the same time.
If you see us at the open training session, please just come and talk to us. We want to hear some of your stories, anything about what's been going on in your journey in basketball or your first Flyers game, etc. That sort of thing, don't we, Joel?
Yeah, this is your episode essentially, so you guys can tell us your stories. We want to hear the best ones and really engage with our audience and players and coaches as well. We're going to be grabbing everyone. So, fellas, at the training session, we're going to have Coach wearing a little microphone. He's going to be coming through the PA system, so everyone's going to hear what he's saying. Is that a good idea, do you think?
Depends what day you catch him on. Yeah, it depends what day. If we won on the weekend, then, well, we will win, but when we win, he'll be happy. If there was ever a time where we lost, you wouldn't want to mic him up that week, because it's going to be a stressful week for everyone.
I love the confidence that we're going to win the game this weekend already straight away. I love that mindset. It's awesome.
Yeah, we don't want to lose, because all we just see him at the open training session is running. Just running.
Very good. I think that's everything for our Word of the Week. The only other thing to mention is that we've got Sheffield Sharks at home this Saturday. So if you're in the Delpesh household, they are all getting ready right now for that big Delpesh derby. I can't imagine what that WhatsApp group's going to be like right now this week going into that game. But Saturday, 7:30 p.m. at the SGS College Arena. There are still tickets available for this one, so if you do want to come down and join us at SGS College Arena, do be quick. bristolflyers.co.uk. Very good. Sam, let's get to... We've got a bit more chat to do with these guys, because I want to find out some more about their journey into the SGS Basketball Academy.
Let's hear it.
Fellas, talk to us a little bit about how old were you guys when you first came in? Because Louie, I think you were... you came in right at the very start, right? At the under 12, the basketball centre even.
Yeah. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. The Royal and the coach, that's where it all started.
Well, we had Corey come on a few weeks ago, and he had the same sort of journey as well. Are you seeing like a lot more players in Bristol now playing basketball at a young age compared to what you were playing? Back when you were playing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Nassim does the coaching, and he's saying that people are on like waiting lists to come in for the sessions and stuff like that. So that's a big positive to see. That. That's a big positive. Yeah. Way more ballers are going to be coming out of Bristol now. Just go put the work in yourself.
Yeah, it really is growing. Like everything around the club, like you see the stuff that they're doing with the foundation. I keep seeing every single week Corey Samuel's visiting a new school on Twitter. They're tagging us in on socials. I think he was at St Werburgh's yesterday. Doing a talk, so it's just going into schools and then players from there going into these basketball centre sessions, and then from there on it's basically going into the junior team, isn't it? So you go from there 14s, into 12s, 14s and onwards.
12, 14s, National League 16s, National League 18s.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Jayden, I'm alright in thinking you actually played most of junior basketball in Wales before coming over.
So I started in Wales. I was playing for Newport. Then I realised I need to play at the highest level I can, obviously accessible. So I was catching the train to Bristol under 14s. I think I was 13 years old. I was catching the train to Bristol every week so I could play for Flyers.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then what age group did you end up joining the Bristol Flyers?
Yeah, under 14s.
Under 14s and coming up straight through into the senior, now into the senior men's team and playing with the seconds as well, and then the academy.
I know it sounds like we're hearing about their story, but it's just so it's exactly what we want to happen. We want to see this plan start young, come up through, and then literally homegrown talent is like perfect for us, isn't it?
Yeah,
so.
it's awesome. And Louie, you actually went abroad, didn't you? You went overseas. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I was in America for like 2 years, and then I came back. I had to come back due to visa issues, but like it was all worth it though. Like that was all just another step in the journey, you know. Like I improved so much. Yeah. Like now I'm a way different player from where before I left and everything. So it was all part of the journey.
What was the name of the school that you were at when you went out? Was it high school level you were playing?
The first school I went to was a prep school. It was called St. Louis Christian Academy, and it was cool, like good competition and everything. But it got shut down due to like money and stuff. And then I moved to a school called Sunrise Christian, and that was where my cousin went. And then. Things didn't really work out there. I wasn't really playing too much. I didn't really like the school and stuff. And then the last school I was just at was in Louisville. It's called Seneca. And then I was dominating there, but obviously I had issues with my visa, so I just had to came back. But it was all worth it. All worth it. Just a stepping stone. Yeah.
And like, how does the obviously like the a lot of players when they go to like the SGS Basketball Academy will say that the ultimate goal, or like they want options, you know, so that there's lots of options coming out of the SGS Basketball Academy. You can go to university in the UK, like we've seen players like Corey play university basketball and play for the Flyers at the same time with a scholarship for a UE. We've seen players go abroad to the States, like Dwayne, go out of the SGS Basketball Academy. He went to Bradley, and then now he's playing professionally overseas and playing with the GB national team. Is that like what does the future hold for you guys? What are your ultimate goals? Like, where do you see your pathway going in the future?
Well, I just know I want to play professionally at the end of the day. Like, want to make a career out of basketball. So whichever route I need to take to get there, I'm happy to take. But ideally, I would like to go to the States or Europe, just whatever opportunities I have there, really, at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think also, like, a lot of people say, like, oh, I need to go to, like, Div 1 schools to, like, be successful. But, like, we've had, like, Malcolm on the podcast, and he played at Bates in Div 3, and now he's playing professional basketball. So it's, you know, a lot of players, like, it's important for them to hear that, like, it's not, you shouldn't have that D1 or nothing mindset. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's loads of different options out there.
It's what you make it, like. Any college you go to, 4 years, just got to put the work in. You'll come out of that a better player with way more better opportunities. It's just getting there. That's the hard point.
Yeah. Are you guys getting offers at the moment in terms of, and Louie, is that something you'd want to go back to?
Definitely. Like some interest and stuff, but an offer would be good, but like it's definitely going to come soon. Yeah, I'll definitely want to get back out there as well.
I imagine it's a lot tougher, isn't it, with like being from the UK in terms of like there's so many options. 100. Like they these American schools must have so many players on their shortlist that they want to come in, but then like for them to actually want to reach out to a player overseas and bring them in, you know, you have to have something different about yourself to be to get on those teams, right? So
it's that one more hurdle, isn't it? Because if you've got two players that are quite similar and one's from near where they are in the States and the other one's from a different country, like it's easy to choose the person from your country because you know it's effort, isn't it, to do all the admin and all the rest of it. So
does the college help a lot with that, like with the coaching staff? Are they putting you in touch with different programs that they've maybe had players come through previously or things like that, or are they helping you in terms of build your highlights reel and sending them out into key contacts and stuff?
Yeah, with the highlights, like I'll send them to Coach Bourne. He'll send them out and stuff like that. But
speaking of highlights, I saw a highlight this week on, what was it? Was it on BBL Fix or something?
Hoops
was it on Hoops Fix? Was it?
I've been on Hoops Fix like
Did you see that?
weeks.
Mate, I literally see Tucker on Hoops Fix every single week these days for EABL.
Past 3 weeks I've been on it.
I mean, the one I saw was you drove through. You didn't get bumped. You got hit hard. Little Euro step through, hit hard, and then but it didn't get called as a foul, did it?
No, it should have been on one.
Oh, the crossover. Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was some absolutely outrageous plays, and if those of you don't know, we often stream our EABL home games for SGS College over on our YouTube channel, where you're watching this podcast right now if you're watching on YouTube. So have a look through. There's some games already up there from this season, EABL games, and the numbers you're getting, I think I think you had a 36-point game or 38-point game.
I had a 39-point game. I wish it was 40.
You should have got that one more free throw, shouldn't you?
That's what I'm saying.
Did you miss any free throws?
Yeah, I did. I actually did.
There we go. That's it.
The joke thing about it. Charge it, isn't it?
Charge it.
Just charge it.
You're going to have to go back through your mixtape and upload some of these new videos now, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Fellas, before we move on to the Word of the Week segment, we do have to give a shout out to your SGS team. Obviously, they're doing well. I think they're unbeaten still, right?
Yeah, 5-0.
5-0. Who have you got coming up next?
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
A lot of these teams have their links, don't they, to like to a lot of BBL teams that you see, like Myerscough, or maybe not Myerscough, but like Charnwood with link with Leicester Riders and things like that.
Yeah.
The one thing I find really funny is when that they put us in the North Conference, SGS and Bristol. So like same with the NBL Div 2. So like I think the next team then is like if you look at NBL Division 2, for example, there's like 4 teams in Bristol or 3 teams in Bristol in NBL North. And then they're travelling up to like Newcastle, wherever every week, and then there's teams like Leicester and that playing in the South Conference.
What? Because of the standard, or what are they doing there?
Well, it's not because of the standard, just location.
Yeah.
But on the standard, North is better than South.
But it doesn't make sense, like geographically, for us to be in the North, like because most of the team in South would probably be a shorter journey.
Yeah, you guys be travelling every single week, pretty much, somewhere up north or.
Yeah.
We're trying to work out a private jet sponsorship deal for you guys, so we'll let you know.
Very good. Sam, let's get on to this week's Word of the Week.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
All right, last week's Word of the Week was flabbergasted. I can tell you, I absolutely nailed it again. I spoke to Gareth after the broadcast actually on this one, and he was like, "Did you say flabbergasted?" I was like, "Yeah." Did you not listen to it? He's like, "Nah." I was like, "Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted."
Or he just doesn't listen to you.
Or he just completely ignores me on the broadcast altogether. I tell you where I managed to get it in. I managed to get it in straight after Vince McCauley picked up that technical foul in the first half.
I love it when someone gets technical. Helen, my wife, does all the sounds on this, and I don't know if you heard when Vince did his when he said it, she put on this sound, which I absolutely love.
Oh, he's reaching for the soundboard. He's still looking for the sound.
I want to make sure I get the right one. I think it is this one.
3.
No, it's not that one.
Charge it.
Let's try again.
Charge it.
Okay, it's this one. This is the one she does.
Blah 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 blah.
I've got a lot of time for that, I'm telling you.
Whenever anyone gets a technical foul or someone's talking to the referee, you'll often hear that sound being played through the speakers at SGS College Arena.
Anyway, back to you, Joel.
So flabbergasted was the word for this week. Sam, shall we take a listen to how I managed to get that one in?
He's enjoying backing down the defenders. It's going to be a technical foul called on Coach McCauley. Yeah, I think he's had a couple of warnings already. I think he wasn't particularly happy with that screen in the end of the first quarter, but the referees have had enough. Well, he looks flabbergasted out there. He needs to be careful here. He doesn't want to pick up another one.
There we go.
Love
That's
that,
simple.
Joe.
He looked flabbergasted. I mean, he didn't actually look that flabbergasted. He just looked really angry, but I managed to fit it in. And that is your Word of the Week for this week. We've got a space, by the way, now on our wheel, fellas. And we would like the two of you to come up with a word for our Word of the Week. Let me go grab the wheel. Give me 2 seconds.
I think I know what it should be.
You already know what it is.
What's it going to be, gents?
Charge it.
Charge it.
It's my blood. Charge it's in my blood.
We're going to put charge it on here, right?
100%.
Right, and where are we? Can I find my bit on the wheel?
We've already got Scatgang on there, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean...
See, I'm both. I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle.
Charge it. Here we go.
I like this. This is great.
I'm going to be watching everything to
see if he gets
I'm
it.
waiting for this moment.
Right. Charge it's on the wheel. I've got the wheel here. Things are starting to fade off, actually, but all the words that you sent in are still up here. We've got, like, Corey's Scat Gang's up here. We've got, what else we got? Indubitably from Thomas Bell. Spicy, Sabotage, Abdication from, is it VJ King? Is that one in?
There's a lot here.
And we've got Charge It now as well. So,
charge it, man.
Whichever word this lands on will be our Word of the Week for this week. Praying for Charge It. Whichever word it lands on will be the word of the week. I'll have to fit it into the commentary for Saturday's game against the Sheffield Sharks. Sam, shall we give this wheel a spin? Here we go then.
It always cuts out a bit early, doesn't it?
Oh, it's going backwards. Oh my God, it's going to land it. It's landed on Charge. Oh, no,
Come on.
No, it's not. It's like, I don't know if you saw that.
That's a charge.
That's the perfect moment to explain what charge it means.
That's the perfect.
It literally. I don't know. I'll try and explain what happened to the listener just there. It went around. The wheel stopped. It went backwards. It went past the word charge it. It was about to land on charge it. And then it just flicked over to the word caterpillar. So caterpillar is going to be our word of the week this week. I'll have to try and fit it into the broadcast for Saturday's game against the Sheffield Sharks, which you can still join us for because tickets are still available at bristolflyers.co.uk. But if you want to try and listen to me get the word caterpillar in, you can also watch it on the BBL YouTube channel and on BBL Player.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
All right, fellas, time to wrap up this week's podcast with our questions from the mailbag. So every week we ask fans to send in their questions to you guys, and we pick some of our favourites to ask you right here on the podcast. So I've got my phone out here because we've got them here on the Instagram. How about this one, Sam?
Okay, so I don't know if you know this guy.
I don't know if you know Avuka, but Avuka sent in a question, another question.
Who would win in a 1v1 for £1,000?
I'm obviously going to take myself.
Myself.
You're going to say yourself, innit?
Yeah.
Charge it.
Basically.
Do you ever do one-on-one in practice?
No, not 1v1, but like we'll go at each other in 5v5.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. Yeah. We need to get a little 1v1 between them, and then Joel said out of his own personal bank account he'll pay you £1,000 for the winner.
Say no more.
I'll pay the winner in Subway vouchers.
I'm fine with that.
I'll take whatever.
So we obviously already had the question, and Nassim asked about what the hype was around Charge It. Tashon, Coach Tashon then said, like, give us an example of a Charge It moment, which I think we've already covered here on the podcast. Django Slice on Instagram asks to Louie, the biggest what's your biggest buzz? Playing in the Euros twice for GB or playing elite level high school basketball?
Nah, definitely playing Euros. The one that just went when we was like in Turkey, like it was like the arena was big. Like when we played Turkey, we actually played Turkey in Turkey as well. So it's like the whole arena was packed. Like that was lit.
And that was playing for the national team under 18s level.
Under 18s, yeah.
Who won?
Oh, yeah, they charge it.
Just charge it, mate.
Charge it. I've got a question, actually. I think everyone deserves to see this. Louis, so back when we were doing Media Day, you were really keen to get your Griddy on the like do one of our gifts of you doing the Griddy. I don't know if we can get up the wide angle of the here, Fred, but what we kind of want you to do.
You want me to Griddy over there?
Okay, if you kind of start at this end over here and then kind of just Griddy your way across here, I think this will be, and this will be great for the listener, by the way, who's just listening to this. But Louis just got up here. Really? Yeah, here we go. He's going to do it right the way through. There he goes. There he goes. Yes.
Back again.
Back again.
That's got to go on social, Joel.
I love it.
Sort that out.
That's getting clipped up. Only on the Bristol Flyers podcast will you see us do a Griddy. I got another question here from Matt Hardy on BBL Daily on Twitter. He asks, if you had to sing, or both of you, if you both had to sing one song that you knew all the lyrics to, and if you got them wrong, you had to shave your head, which song would you choose?
I know Lil Baby Freestyle, but I could probably do that.
Lil Baby Freestyle.
Let's hear a bit then.
We've actually got the soundtrack for that right here.
They've got to hear it.
Go on. You got that. No, you got that.
Shout out my label TB. I'm in it.
Obviously, you know swear words.
Most of the song is swearing, so it's just going to be a bunch of evens.
You guys don't know swear words, do you?
No.
Okay, good. Good to know.
The next question
Okay,
here.
so I don't know if you've heard of this person either, but Roy Owen on Instagram. Louis, who was your favourite teammate at Bristol Met?
Oh.
This sounds charged, I'm telling you.
My favourite teammate. It's probably got to be the other Louis. Really? Like, on and off the court, we was always together. That's how we got our nicknames, like Tux and Westy, because we was Louie and Louie. So then Tux is me, and then Westy was Westy. And like, he always knew where I was on the court. Like, no matter what, like it'll throw the ball to me, and I wouldn't even expect it, but he just knew where I was. Like we just had that connection. So yeah, he's probably my favorite teammate.
Great player, and he was actually in some of those pictures as well from before, wasn't he?
Exactly.
So,
yeah, we've been playing with each other for a long time.
Yeah, Jayden, who's your best teammate you've played against throughout your time in the junior program?
I mean, me and Jason was doing well last year in the EABL.
Mm-hmm.
Like we was a good duo for most of their games.
Yeah.
So I'll probably say Jason for last year.
Where's he moved on to now, Jason? Is he still...
Yeah, he's playing in Newcastle now. So he plays for their D1 team and the university team.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember he was getting buckets last year. He played like with... doing a lot of hoops fix bits as well through the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Which obviously, Louie, you were also doing the hoops fix in the summer. You played against Bronny James, right?
I didn't play, but I was there.
But you was part of the team that played against Bronny James.
Is he that good in real life?
No,
he's not.
All the hype. Here we go.
No, he's good in it, but he's not that good.
Imagine having that as your dad and you've got to live up to that hype. That is just impossible.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Another question here. This one from George Townsend on Twitter. Louie, we kind of touched on this bit here, but what's it like playing for 3 teams at once? Do you actually get to rest? The other question he asks is, how did you find life in Kansas? Like, how much do you think your experience at a US high school level has helped you become so successful at EABL and Div 2 level?
Yeah, like I was saying, it was just another stepping stone. So like every day, Sunrise, when I was at Sunrise, it was just practice, gym. Like all we did, it was in the middle of nowhere. So all we did was basketball. Like, and all we had was each other, the team. So like most of those guys I still talk to now. Like, so it was like definitely for like my progression and stuff, it improved me as a player like way more, like way much. Like that was probably the most improvement in a year I've ever had. So like yeah, it was fun out there though, but not really much to do. It's kind of boring.
Yeah. One final question before we wrap things up. This one's from Joel Osborne here in the studio. What advice would you give to any player that's maybe playing under 16 sort of National League basketball right now and is considering their options for going to a college program and is thinking about coming to SGS College?
I would just say, just keep working on your game. Like start like under 16 is where it gets like more physical. I say EABL, like that's where there's obviously third years and all that, so it's a lot more physical. Just become prepared, just work hard, that's it.
Yeah. And Jayden, anything else to add on to that?
Yeah, I would say like the little work you do outside of training, like that's set for you, it will start to show like coming in time. Like if you're putting in extra hours, that's gonna show on the court. So if you put in them extra hours, you're gonna you can shine when you come to EABL or wherever you go.
Very good stuff.
And eat your greens, yeah.
And eat your greens.
Yeah, of course, got to.
And eat your greens and choose SGS College. Very good. Thanks a lot, fellas. That's going to just about do it for this week's episode of the Bristol Flyers podcast. Fellas, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come down here and join us. Sam, next week is going to be our open training episode of the podcast. So we are heading down to SGS College to speak to some of the fans, some of the players, some of the staff, etc., etc. If you want to come chat to us, just come on over. We'll be walking around with a microphone. We're speaking to everyone. It should be a great episode, right?
I love that. Guys, really appreciate you coming on. Can't wait for that 40-point game coming up soon. Hit them free throws, yeah?
We're looking out for the 40-point game for Louie for EABL. That's the one. As soon as we get that, we will clip that up. The podcast made him do it. Had to go drop it. Fellas, thank you so much for your time here on the Bristol Flyers podcast. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Don't forget, we are available on all major podcast providers and on YouTube. Do like, share, comment, subscribe, all those podcasty things. But until next time, we will see you again soon here on the Bristol Flyers podcast.